Okay, so is Risky Christy a Fed? Part 2, kind of, or like update? Let's go with update. I like that dude's shit, man. Uh, I don't think he is a Fed. The more I watch him, the more I think he is just one of us nitwits that really thinks he can get away with it. And, like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is like, if they came knocking, I have shit I would tell them. But at the same time, like, the news isn't being the news right now. And I know at least some of you listen to my opinion on things because, like, I'm not owned by anybody, and I may not tell you exactly what's going on, but at the same time, my insights on it are interesting. And the reason I say that is, like, I don't throw in Atlantis and shit like that unless it starts to fucking matter. Because, like, some of this, that is the real nature of the universe. If they started fighting over fucking Morocco tomorrow, we'd be talking about Atlantis. They haven't done that yet. So, we don't need to mention it. You know? I like to talk about all sorts of crazy shit and smoke weed and whatever, but, like, until they start fucking around in, like, a way that any of that would fucking matter, basically we're fighting World War II again. Some ways. Like, I've been studying fucking World War II, World War I, and Napoleon a lot because it looks like we're going to war in Europe. That's what you should probably be doing too. I would like to start doing military history videos on here, but I don't know how to do that. Really. Like, I need a whiteboard. As soon as I have a whiteboard, we'll be doing some of that shit. Because, like, a lot of things are way easier to teach if I can fucking write on a whiteboard. That's probably going to be a cool series whenever I can get a whiteboard. But this video was about Risky Christy. I like his little paratrooper carbine thing. And, like, I watched his fucking helmet scrim video while I was making my helmet. I needed something to have on in the background while I was doing the scrim, and I was like, haha, click. Sorry. I have an ear infection, and it's getting better, but there's a tremendous amount of snot that occasionally comes out of my head, and I couldn't continue talking, and we're only 3 minutes into this, so you just get that. What else about Risky Christy do I like thus far? I don't know. I dig the message that he puts out pretty much, which is kind of like this Minuteman militia kind of a thing. And, like, really, for good or ill, like, he said some shit that makes me wonder if he's a Nazi or not, but that's, you know, welcome to militias. It's a conservative crowd, and, like, there are Nazis. I don't know. Check out my sidearm. Figure we're gonna be fighting a civil war. Like, this is the appropriate EDC pistol. I have this and, like, a fucking blue Scarlett O'Hara dress. And I'm gonna go looking for Bill Clinton. Would be hilarious, wouldn't that? And that was not a threat. Secret Service, that is a joke. Bill Clinton likes to wear a blue dress. It's the whole thing. You can go look it up. Yeah. As far as Risky Christy goes, though, like, I like some of his ideas and concept and where he's going. He's building, like, a fucking longer barreled kind of attacker kind of gun with a fucking scope on it. That's very similar to my thoughts on like the civilian militia like light machine gun. There's a couple different versions of that, but basically every last one of them in my book is either a 20-inch barreled AR-15 with a scope and drum mags, a bipod, or something like a FAL G3 kind of thing with drum mags and a bipod and either a red dot or a scope, depending on exactly what you're doing. With the AR-15, you're using such small bullets that I would basically always want the scope. With the G3 FAL, you're shooting a big enough bullet that, like, you could be using that as a, like, hey, we are in our car and we're shooting at the other car. Red dot. Short of that, I'd probably want a 4-power scope on those things too. Like, it makes them a better light machine gun. And like binary triggers in these would probably be a good idea. Like, I don't know. It's one of those, like, do you want to trade the reliability for the firepower? I would say the juice isn't worth the squeeze, personally, plus it's a lot of money. Just get a really light semi-auto trigger. Like, look at Geisley. The Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun, you can shoot damn near as fast as a binary trigger. Now, that is an expensive trigger, too. But this, again, if I were building the light machine gun fucking Wolverine's AR-15 that, like, Risky's building, I'd put a Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun in it. I'd have a 20-inch barrel or longer. Like, if I could get longer, I would get longer. And I would get as badass of a cartridge as you can get. I usually tend to buy 55 grain, which isn't that badass of a cartridge, but at least it is a known quantity. You know what it does. And, like, I really don't like green tip all that much. And since you're going 20-inch barrel and you're going to be strapping so much shit to it for the fucking, you know, light machine gun thing, you might consider doing the fucking KE arms lower. That's what I have on both my guns right now. Neither one of them are 20-inch LMG rigs or whatever, but, like, it would cut a lot of weight off of one in an area that, like, it doesn't fucking matter. And you're going to fix stock, which, for what you're doing with it, I would want to fix stock or something that is good for it. The best LMG AR-15 stock is the Troy Industries Clubfoot stock. I used to have one of those on my PTR 91. And I had a PTR 91 with a fucking Aimpoint Comp M2 on it, and converted to an AR tube for length of pull, and then it had a drum mag and a bipod, and, like, my idea of that thing was this. Like, we're gonna be, you know, hiking into an area and we need a squad weapon, something like that. Like, it's what was available that was the best at that. And that was kind of my point of that whole video. You can find that on what is that? Let me think what I called it. Called it something. It's gone. It'll come to me in a minute. Squad automatic rifle, something like that. Automatic rifle. If you look up like automatic rifle concept G3, you'll probably find it. Look on my page. I will link that video when I find it in the description below, because I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Light automatic rifle concept. That's what it is. I called it that because that's exactly what it is. It's not a machine gun. It's, hey, we have a semi-automatic rifle that we're planning to shoot really, really fast with big magazines off a bipod. It's kind of like a shitty, like, you saw this shit happen in World War II, where they'd, like, convert a bolt action to semi-auto and make it a light machine gun. That kind of idea. And I really think that's probably about as best as you can do. And, like, the AR-15 version of that has economy. Like, if you're going to arm a whole bunch of people, maybe you arm, 4 or 5 dudes out of the 20 with 308s. And then have their fucking guys that are carrying fucking cans of 308, have them have fucking 20-inch AR-15s with like ACOGs on them. And drum mags themselves. And like that way, as you fucking like are laying down fire from those things or whatever, they can ditch all their fucking 308 with those dudes, because they'll just be carrying fucking drum mags. You send them out to fucking hit them somewhere else or something, maybe. Like, you could do a lot of things with that. It all works together. You're building like a fucking unit of people to go do a thing. And like, the things that are useful to go do are like hitting columns at night. They're blowing shit up. There's nothing very pretty about it, and pretty much all of it, like, you need to have some sort of a plan on how to deal with machine guns in combat. And drum magazine scoped 308s on bipods shooting at the machine gunners, probably a good idea. And like, this is where you as a unit of riflemen should take the technological and training advantages that you can get to engage at a longer range. What makes the Marines dangerous as a group of people? It's the fact that they shoot really far away all the time. You should be that way too. Like, this is where, like, most of you should have been shooting since you were children. If you were not, then you have been failed. If you're trying to learn to shoot, learn faster. You need to go shoot more. And this is where, like, those 20-inch AR-15s with fucking some sort of a ACOG type thing on them with stadia lines, that's a proven system that you can engage out to a pretty far distance with. And this is where, like, the long-range ambush is how you should fucking live, really. Like, this is why you shouldn't wear body armor. You should carry more ammo. Just my opinion. There's a lot of this that's like, assuming a good deal of things, right? But like, a lot of this is like, I see idiots buying equipment that they don't know how to use or what it's for. And a lot of people buy body armor. And my point is, the people that are buying the body armor are people that aren't going to be going down and kicking down doors. And like, aren't going to be standing on street corners patrolling things likely. They're probably going to be like hiding in a house, coming out at night, taking a couple of shots, and going hiding in a different house. Does that sound like someone that needs body armor? No. Well, it's a waste of weight and money. Okay? Like, this is where, if you're fighting as a unit, and everyone is physically capable to carry that armor for the whole assault, which I doubt, then sure, wear your body armor on the fucking assault. But know that your assault is going to be less effective because you're each carrying 20 pounds of body armor instead of 20 pounds of ammo. Ammo is time on target, and like, wherever I would go would be a target-rich environment, right? Get where my head's at yet? No, you should be. This is why we don't wear ammo. This is why we don't wear armor. If I could talk, it would help. I cannot foresee a situation where a militiaman in the continental United States would ever wear body armor, pretty much, unless they're fucking working as a group on the East Coast to do something. The reason I say that is there's enough cities there where you could be engaged in urban warfare pretty easy and not have any fucking way out. And those are the kind of places where you might want to wear plates. on the plains in Oklahoma isn't exactly the place. And like, again, this is, if I were there, I probably wouldn't have plates either because I'm not going to be with those dudes. I'm going to be doing something else somewhere else that won't necessitate me needing body armor. Like, this is my own personal thing or whatever. You need to make that decision for yourself. And if you're going to spend the money on body armor, know that the only people that wear body armor are going to be targets. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but given the situation, the odds of you standing out in the open and being a target, I think, are slim. Very slim. And if you're like, well, I might go to a protest and I'll need it for the Antifa. I can't help you. You're going to die. If you're really seriously going to another protest, you're just a dead man. Dead man walking. Like, something bad's going to happen at one of those protests. And everyone there is going to get fucking Guantanamo'd. And this isn't like, oh, I'm scared or whatever. No, I'm just smart enough not to walk into a trap in D.C. Basically, they'll never get me fucking west of the Mississippi ever again. I plan to stay in free America, and like, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I keep looking at Wyoming. I think, honestly, if you want to pick a state to move to right now, hear me out on Wyoming. It's a bunch of cowboys with very similar values to you, and they have a surplus in their fucking thing instead of a debt. They're going to be fine. They have small towns. They're growing a little bit. You could go and homestead there with a group of dudes and build your own small town. Be better off. If you have the money and resources and whatever. But like, my thing would be, sell all your shit. Get, cheap, reliable cars for everybody. Load them all full of your shit. Pool all your money and buy a piece of land. Get up there and start working your asses off until you have something. Like, that's some desperate shit. But we're at a point now where you can still do that. What happens in a year or two when you can't do that anymore? What happens when, like, you can't travel from state to state because of the X reason? They've already done crazy shit. Like, I think you got to pick a state where you want to be and get there. I think Oklahoma has its advantages. That's why I'm not leaving, because my family's already here. Like, if my family wasn't here, I don't know if I would stay. But the advantages that I see to my location are basically, we're near the gas production facility, so we have cheap gasoline. We are near a port on the Arkansas River that still has water, I believe. So we can get goods that way. We have interesting car laws, and basically everybody around here drives an older car. And I think in the future this is going to matter as the war goes on or whatever. Some of these newer cars, they, between the chips and the parts that are made to break, I don't think they're going to keep running forever. And they're going to get fewer and farther between and more expensive and out of reach for you. Like, my grandma drives a Honda CR-V that's like a goddamn spaceship. Every bit of the spaceship parts cost a shitload of money. Like, everyone's like, well, it didn't cost before. Let me explain something to you. It was being made by slaves. America is the new Roman Empire. Every colony that's not America, it's one of our fucking slave colonies. You make something for us that we value enough to keep you around. If you didn't, we would go in and replace your leadership and then make you a slave colony. Except for North Korea, because it has big friends. And, China and Russia have their own thing going on. China is China, and then Russia's always had the nuclear umbrella. China has its own nukes now, but like, you should get that China's nukes have always been a joke compared to American and Russian shit. So I don't see how that has fucking changed, probably. North Korea has nukes now, and that's funny. Like, they have an ICBM capable of reaching us. Power move here. Homestead in North Korea. I know you're saying, but they're an enemy of the United States. Yeah, but you would get real freedom there, and they have a surplus of hot young Asian women. And like, the deal that I'd strike with Kim would be, okay, Kimmy, I want to rule the world, but I'm not going to have any kids or whatever, so why don't you rule the world and you just let me do whatever the fuck I want to do over here. I'll take it over, I'll build the empire, I'll set up your system, and then let you be a despot. It would be fun, wouldn't it? Like, I'm not saying it's a good thing to do, and I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just saying that would be fun as shit. Eventually, when America collapses, that's my backup plan. North Korea and Oklahoma. Smoke already liked that idea. My pitch on that before was, okay, we just put up a big razor wire wall around Oklahoma, and then like we form a motorcycle gang and seize the legitimate government of Oklahoma, make ourselves the legitimate government of Oklahoma, and be like the North Korean state of the 50 states. Just secede fully and have a fucking wall and tell them they can't come in here anymore. And then to all of the people, be like, okay, this looks really, really bad. I know. I'm sorry that you don't have freedom. But the good news is, we're going to turn this place into like one big like Playboy Bunny weed store fucking, I don't know. It's just going to be a paradise. All of the women now have to wear these rabbit ears. Like, it would get weird, but at the same time, it would be awesome. And like, there'd be a demographic of people that fucking hated me, but I think the vast majority of people would either live completely unaffected by my fucking craziness, or would be the scum of the earth that I am torturing. So like, I think most of the people that it would matter would be on my side. That's how I would run my country. And the people that I would fuck with would be like, I don't know, anyone that's in charge now. Yeah. You would not like it in the fucking mystical land of North Korea and Oklahoma. Would be bitching though, wouldn't it? To like have Pretoria come to fruition. And like, if you did form your own despotic state in Oklahoma, you'd have to like call Putin and fucking Kim, right? Like, I'd want to be in on the pool parties and shit and have Gaddafi over. It would be hilarious to invite them all to a pool party. Anyway. Fucking North Korea. I don't remember what we were talking about before that, but like, this is kind of in a nutshell where the world is at, is like, I don't consider my, hey, going and trying to fucking make technology for Kim Jong-un as a backup plan after America falls to be outside of the realm of rational thought. I know. That's probably because I'm a crazy person. Or it's because you are crazy because you still buy into their bullshit. Our whole economy is in a free fall now. Like, there's no way some of the shit that we're going to have happen here can be avoided, basically. The only way that they're going to avoid it is by having so many people deluded into fucking using some centralized bank currency that they can just control. Which, that's what they're going to do. They're going to offer everybody centralized bank currencies for their worthless paper money. Probably 1-for-1 in America and probably pennies on the dollar around the world. And then we'll not have a debt. It's called magic. It's a technology you don't understand. Or it's just thieving. Seems to me it's just thieving. There's a lot of just thieving going on. It's like the best pirate I ever knew was J.P. Morgan. Best pirate I ever knew is fucking whoever the fucking spooky people are that's doing this shit. Like, it seems like they own Disney. Like, you could probably run that shit down and figure out who owns Disney. A couple other things they most definitely own. They own all the fucking news medias. Like, this is the thing, is like there is a pirate that has one of the biggest hordes of all fucking time that basically owns a lot of shit in America right now and is causing our downfall. And like you might say that's George Soros. No, I think that George Soros is like a fucking whipped dog that works for this dude. I think this is a guy you don't even know the name of. Like, spooky dude. The other thing I would say is like Elon Musk buying Twitter to run it to the ground. I love him. Like, if that's really what he's gonna do, like, he bought it at $44 billion, and then anyway, it's gonna be worth $44 billion again for a minute, given the fact that he's just firing everybody. But like, god damn, that was nice to see. The thing I don't like is his, I don't know, I think it's to drive away the woke fucking bitches, but his whole like 24/7 work culture thing, yeah, that's probably not good. You know, if you value having a life outside of work at all, like, that's not good at all. Like, we've gotten real comfy with some fucking South African demon. Hope that goes well for us. Anyway, go check out Chrisky. I really am enjoying his shit, and I don't think he's a fed, for the most part. Or he is, like, the best one of all time. Could be. See you guys later.